Hello, everyone. This is Magic, your PickTime webinar host. Welcome to the webinar PickTime for Canadian community. I hope you are all doing well today and you have a beautiful morning, I'm guessing, as if you are Canadian. For me, it's afternoon. I'm joined with some hosts, but I'm going to introduce them in a second. I'm just going to do like little admin things before you guys are joined, because I see that the number is like constantly growing of your all attendees. First of all, let me know if you can see us and if you can hear me as well, and just type something in the chat. And if you type stuff in the chat, so that's the first technical information, make sure you send chat to panelists and attendees. So if you see that blue little button under the chat, there's two panelists. Panelist is me and my co-host. And if you go to panelists and all attendees, it would mean that all of us can, see the chat, like all of the other attendees can see the chat as well. So it's pretty convenient because we can have also have a great conversation between you guys in the chat, which is very encouraged. By the way, in the chat we also have our one support agent as well, just to answer some technical questions that we might not have time for all of them during that webinar. Also, other thing, if you have some major questions maybe, or some questions in a Q&A section, there's going to be Q&A sections. You can use the where is it, Q&A section down in the bottom of the Zoom. So you can just click on the Q&A and just type the question, and one of our agents is going to see that, and we might take it to the screen. So yes, good to see you guys. I can see that you all can hear us. So that's the perfect time to introduce my very favorite co-host of all the webinars, Lauren from PickTime.
Hi, nice to see you again, Magic.
Great to see you, Lauren. And I'm also joined, I don't know if we can see Sharon, Mike, you guys are here. Oh, I see EOS webcam utility is turning on. The camera is firing up. We might not have, are you guys there? I can see, oh yeah.
We're here.
Hi.
You guys are here, perfect. I thought I lost my Canadian co-host.
Never, Magic, never.
So if you could just briefly introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
Hi, I'm Sherry.
I'm Mike.
And we're from Vancouver, Canada. Welcome to all the Canadians. I hope y'all are here.
Looks like it. Chat's blowing up. Hi, everybody.
Yes. Hi, guys.
Awesome. Well, we're really stoked to be here. This could be a lot of fun. It's cool to have something specially for Canadians.
That
never happens. Yes. we love PickTime and all this whole crew that's here. The whole PickTime team's amazing. Magic, we love you, and it's so. To be honest, Magic, I didn't even realize that you were co-hosting here. This feels like home. I love it.
It feels like home, right? Perfect. Thanks so much, guys. So Sharon, Mike from Canada, I can't stop saying that. It's like it's something beautiful that we are co-hosting this. So so guys, just to give, wait, did I give you a spotlight? I just lost the ability to use Zoom, I think. No, it's good. So what we're going to be talking about today is going to be like, this whole webinar is going to be divided into two parts. The first part is going to be like intro to PickTime, some basic stuff about PickTime, and then we're going to have Lauren demoing the PickTime for us, giving like the brief experience of the client experience and how to set up for all of you Canadian folks. And then the second part, then we are going to have a Q&A about all the technical stuff. And then the second part is going to be the guests, and we have some lovely guests today, because like we have Sharon and Mike, that's the for first, but they're also helping to co-host. And then we have Erica from Two Man Studios, we have Jennifer Moher, we have Thomas Wagner, we have Troy from Meat Pepper. So we have amazing guests who's going to share their experience with PickTime. It's going to share some tips, some marketing tips, maybe how to boost your sales using PickTime, how to set up your PickTime, or what do they love about PickTime in general. So that's great. And then at the end, we're going to have like a big panel with all of us. It's going going to answer some of your questions or some questions that we might have during the whole webinar. Does that sound good? Let me know in the chat if that sounds good to you guys. We're going to try to, compress this as much. Like, we don't want to keep you for a long time, but like hour and a half top is going to be how long we're going to take this webinar. So yeah.
Amazing.
I think that,
let's get rolling.
let's get rolling. So I'll give a mic to Lauren for the introduction of the PickTime and like the PickTime experience.
Sounds good. Yeah, so I'm going to give just a really brief demo on the client side of PickTime and how the gallery and the shop looks from the client perspective. And then I'll show the back end of PickTime a little bit and how we can set it up specifically for you Canadian photographers as well. So I will go ahead and share my screen. Let me see if I can do that. Cool. Can everybody see my screen? I'm assuming so because no one's saying anything. Sweet. So this is the cover photo of the gallery. This is what your client will see when they very first log into their gallery to view their photos. And this, of course, is a gallery from Sherry and Mike that they've so graciously let us share today. So we get to see some beautiful photos from them. And as we scroll through the galleries, we actually have this brand new slideshow feature that we've implemented into the PickTime system that allows you to actually create a slideshow with your already uploaded photos from the gallery. So already right away, as the client is viewing their gallery, they get this really nice, beautiful curated slideshow to really help them regain that connection to their images and to their wedding day or to their family session or whatever type of photo session you're doing. So the slideshow is really fun. We'll click on it and play it for a few minutes, not for a few minutes, a few seconds here. But yeah, it's a really beautiful, fun feature that just is super easy to set up. And I'll show that a little bit in the back end here really quickly. But as we go through the gallery, the client is able to do a bunch of different kind of things. They can, of course, favorite photos. They can share their photos. They can share the entire gallery. They can download their images, of course. They can also buy photos really quickly and easily directly from the gallery without getting into the full shop. So we got some nice quick print prices right here. The clients can also hide photos if they want to hide any particular images in the gallery. They also have the option to enable or enlarge or minimize certain images as well. So we have this flexible sort of gallery layout for them, so they can highlight their favorite photos, or you as a photographer can highlight, your most memorable images from the day to, again, really help them connect emotionally to their photos as well. And of course, in their gallery, they can download the full gallery, and of course they can shop the entire selection of products as well. And we also have, also going back to the slideshows here, we do actually even have a blog post going over some of the slideshow stuff. If you search blog.picktime.com, you'll find this blog post right here about how to make some really, really beautiful slideshows that features like a few of our photographers as well. Here's an example of another project from one of our Canadian photographers. This one's from Jennifer Mower, and she also does beautiful work, of course. And one of the other things that's really neat about PickTime is we're always wanting to really help you leverage your photos long past the photo session date, so that you can make more money as a photographer, and also so that your clients are able to be reminded to print out their memories and get to hold their memories in their hands. And so we have this really neat sales automation platform that you can add to your galleries, and you can create different sales. So we've got an early bird sale that's going on right here. And we have this fun banner to show, how long the discount code is still active for the client, how long they have to use their discount code. And the sales automations are just a really, really great way to, again, bring your clients back to their gallery and really put on the value for your images so that your clients are, more likely to purchase from your gallery, of course. And later on in this webinar, we'll chat with some of the photographers on how they implement the sales automation system as well. And also in the shop, one of the things that's really neat is that as your client is going through and liking photos in the gallery, if we come over here to the main shop front, we'll see that all of these photos are already populated with certain images. And these photos are going to be dependent on each individual user. And as they go through the gallery and mark those favorite photos or spend more time looking at a particular image, those images that they most interact with are going to be more likely to appear on these sample product photos. So right away, right when your client is getting into the shop, they're already being able to envision their images on these products. So it makes it very enticing for them to actually be able to purchase their prints in real life and get to hold them in their hands. And among other things, one of the other neat things about the shop is the, oh my goodness, what is going on? Let's see, we'll refresh the page here. Okay, there we go. So one of the other neat things about the shop is that there's the automated album designer. And what it does is it will take those favorited images and it will take photos based on color profile, based on time of day, and like similar looking images, and put them all together in a really nicely, beautifully designed album, so that even those people who aren't very technologically savvy still are able to design an album really easily and have a beautiful product to hold in their hands. So we'll go ahead and view the album right here, and we can see the album designer right here. And for all of your clients, we have this chat bubble if they have any questions as well, and this chat is available to you as a photographer as well if you have any questions. So we try and make it really, really easy for the client to be able to actually purchase those products from you as the photographer. Now, let's go ahead and we'll sneak over here into the back end and show some Canadian specific setup that you may want to be mindful of just to give your client the best possible experience for their gallery, So the first one, of course, is the language. If you have any French Canadians, you can come to the specific project and you can come to the name and cover tab of the project. And right here, you can actually change the language for each particular project. So we can change the language to French if we need, or any other language that we potentially need. Continuing on with the language, if you mostly service French Canadians, you can come over here to your settings, and under your profile tab, you actually have this default locale right here for your client galleries and for your art galleries as well. So you can also change just the general default language to French for all of your clients as well. And another thing that's important about this page, of course, is the time zone as well. This time zone will come into play if you do any of those sales automations. The sales automations have, coupons and emails and banners that display in the gallery showing the different discounts and offerings for your clients. And so those emails are sent out at particular times, and the times are based on this time zone in your settings. So you'll want to set that up correctly. And then, of course, you'll want to set up your address and, everything else for your PicTime account. And I will say that we do have other webinars on how to set up your PicTime account and everything in general that you are also welcome to check out on our YouTube page. And again, you're welcome to ask us any question at any time on this chat as well. But once we get our time zone, kind of all squared away, then the only other thing we really need to do is set up our store settings and then our store pricing. So we'll come over here, still in the settings of our account, and we'll go over here to our store settings. And in order to sell in Canadian dollars, you'll want to just list yourself as the seller under this payment section right here. And basically what that means is by default, PicTime is the seller of the product, so you just receive the profit from the order that the client receives. And when you list yourself as the seller, you're able to do some other things like self-fulfill if you want. You can also even add custom products if you want. And you can do some other things with shipping and things like that if you want to set that up. And of course, with that as well, you can set up any currency you want too. So we can switch this to Canadian dollar if we want. and get that all set up and squared away for our clients. And then of course, on this page as well, you can set up which payments your account is connected to. So you can either connect your business PayPal account, your Stripe account, or you can set up offline payments if you want to accept either cash or like a check or something like that, or use a separate invoicing system. And then you'll just want to set up your tax as well. Now for Canadians, you can set up use the automated tax if you want. The automated tax will work perfectly for Canada, but you can also set up, either a custom tax if you want, or of course no tax, and then just include, the sales tax in the price of the products themselves. So that's how you would set up your payments for Canada. And for the store pricing, we can come over here and set up our printers. And we have two really fabulous Canadian printers that we work with. We work with Decora and GTA Imaging. They are both super fantastic printers. I've gotten to see both of their works in person, and it's so beautiful. I'm like kind of jealous that I don't live in Canada because I don't get to use them. But they do really, really great work. And so to set up your shop for Decora or GTA Imaging, what you can actually do is come over here to this Edit Price List button in the top right-hand corner. And here we can come and create a new price list. So we'll click this Add More button right here. And here on this page, we can create our name for our price list. So we can do our Canadian clients right here. And we can also set our preferred labs for this price list as well. So we've got Decora as a printer, and then we have GTA as a printer as well. And then if no products can be fulfilled by either of those, then you can either select another printer that ships to Canada, or self-fulfill, or choose no other printer. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then we also have these really fun pricing markups. We talk about that a little bit more in another webinar, but basically this will help you with a really great starting point for your pricing if you want kind of like a guide on what you want to set up your all of your products at. So, but that's how you would set up your initial price list for your online shop. And another place that you can do this as well is in the products themselves. So if we come over here to the Lay Flat albums and click Edit Price right here, we can see we've already got our Canadian printers all set up already. We can change the fulfillment right here if we want, or we can also come over here to this product info button, and we can switch to show the labs that ship to Canada right here. And we can see all of our Canadian printers right here, right at the top. And then of course, everybody else who will also ship to Canada. And this page is great in general, just because you can also see the description for the printer. You can also see how long it will take for them to produce the product. And then of course, some sample images as well, and the color options that each printer has. And of course, the shipping destinations for the printer as well too. And generally, we do also have this a couple blog posts that you can also reference to see what products that Decora and GTA offers through Picktime. So you can, again, go to blog.picktime.com and just search for Decora or GTA. And both of these articles will go over kind of all of the products that the printers offer as well. So we can come over here to our GTA imaging one and see the products that are offered here as well. And we also even actually have a couple help articles too that should assist in, which products you want to be able to offer. So if we go ahead and come back over here to our main photographer dashboard, you can click on the lower left-hand corner, you can click on this little question mark icon to access the help center. And if we search, let's say product names, if we search product names, we should get, this very first article right here, how are products named at Picktime. We can come to this article and check out the breakdown for all of the printers, but specifically for Decora and GTA, we can come down here and see For example, PickTime's lay flat albums fulfilled by Decora. If you're going on their website specifically to look for the album, you can see that the equivalent name in Decora is their signature album. So this is also a really good article to reference when you're wanting to see what products each printer offers. And then if you need to reference the printer themselves, you can see their equivalent name as well. But that is pretty much the gist of setting up your shop and all of your settings for Canada specifically. And as your clients, scroll through the gallery, they're able to, see all those photos in a really beautiful way. And when they go to that shop editor, they can already see the Canadian prices. And when they get to, checkout, they'll be able to add their address. And if for some reason, you have like a printer that doesn't ship to Canada or some reason like that, they'll see like a warning and things like that. So we give a lot of warnings for you and your client to make sure you have everything all set up correctly. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of setting things up. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to actually leave them in the chat. I think Magic, we're going to do a quick Q&A on how to set things up. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
So I do see some questions as well in the chat that Josh is answering. I'm going to just maybe bring up some of these because they might be interesting. So one of them was from Katrina. What changes when I become the seller? Are you planning to allow PickTime to be seller and use Canadian dollars? So the simple answer is no, right, Lauren? Like if you intend to use Canadian dollars, you have to collect payments yourself.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So basically the difference is that when PickTime is collecting payments, you can only do US dollars. You can't self-fulfill. You can't add custom products. And there's also a small commission that's taken out of the profit on your orders as well. And that covers the sales tax and card processing fees that we have to pay. Because with PickTime as the seller, we take care of the sales tax and that sort of thing for you. So there is kind of like a pro and con situation with it going on. But when you're listed as the seller instead, you can, of course, sell in Canadian dollars, you can self-fulfill, you can add custom products, you can have products shipped to yourself first. You can, have the shipping automatically paid by you as well. And then the only difference that happens really in regards to the payment is that after the client places the order, you receive the full amount that the client pays. So that will also include, the production cost for the product, as well as any potential shipping costs from the printer too. So in that case, you as the photographer are then charged the production and shipping costs. So you're able to write that off as like a business expense if you want. And you're just, able to be in charge and manage the money all of yourself. I have it set so that I'm the photographer selling as well. And I love it. I think it's fantastic. And also when you're listed as the seller too, then there's no PickTime commission that's taken out on the profit. So you receive the full amount of everything as well.
And then there is a question about customizing the shipping costs that client is seeing. Can you break this down a little bit because there are differences when the shipping is the products are shipped straight from the lab than when you're self-fulfilling and stuff like it. Like, can you just break that down, please?
Yeah. So by default, the client will pay for the shipping, and the shipping is just determined based upon, how many products they add, and of course, which printer you select too. That shipping is always sort of predetermined, but there's some things that you can do to set, other shipping options up. If you go over to your settings and again to your store pricing, actually, we can come over here to one of our products here. And we can actually choose to have the shipping either paid by the client or by the photographer. So you can choose to, have free shipping for your clients too. You can also set it up as a sales automation app as well. You can create a general coupon app. and offer free shipping, or maybe free shipping over all orders that are $200 or something like that. Generally, I would suggest doing it like free shipping through a sales automation app, because there's a little bit of incentive for the client to purchase products then at that point.
Mm-hmm. But just to make it clear, if you have automated fulfillment by the lab, is the lab is determining the shipping costs, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So because it's going straight from the lab to your client. So unless you check ship to me first, there is nothing you can do about it, right?
Exactly.
And if you do self-fulfill?
If you do self-fulfill, then you can set whatever shipping price you want, basically. And that will be found in your store settings as well. We can come over here and see the self-fulfill shipping right here. And then you can set up rates for different things, and do all of that sort of fun setup stuff.
Nice. Fun setup. Yeah, it's your favorite thing, I guess.
Yeah, shipping, so exciting.
I mean, customizing things and including shipping rates.
Yeah.
So there were two more questions that Josh answered as well in private, but since there was like very similar, I guess that more people might also have the same questions. Is about, because like you were talking about having the Canadian labs, using the Canadian labs like Decora and GTA. How about using like labs from US or maybe Europe? That is still possible, right?
Oh yeah,
What are the downsides of this? Or,
I mean, the largest downside, of course, is the potential shipping fee. I mean, you could potentially have your clients have to pay an international shipping fee. I am pretty sure, I'm 99% sure, that Bay Photos shipping is the same cost to Canada as it is to the US. So Bay Photos, another good option too. But yeah, I would say in general, I definitely recommend Decora and GTA. Like, they both do really fantastic, beautiful work. You cannot go wrong with them. So.
Nice. I'm gonna add one thing for myself, because I'm based in Europe, but I do serve international clients, and I've shot some Canadian couples here in Europe, and it's just so convenient to being able to, get a different price list for them that is set to automated fulfillment with the Canadian labs. So, and then I get this feedback very often from, clients overseas being like, hey, we ordered from your gallery and it just came 2 days after, and it was just printed like, in the next town or like very close to us. So they are really surprised how my service is so international. So I'm guessing for all of you Canadian folks, you also probably serve a lot of American clients coming to Europe, to Canada, to Europe, to Canada, or maybe Europeans, or maybe mixed couples. So this is also a nice thing that you can do, just to set up different price lists for different projects for different couples, so they can all be served in the fastest way possible, because the shipping times are definitely faster when something is local versus something is international. And then, yeah, I think it's just very convenient.
Yeah. And then, also from like a sort of marketing standpoint, you can even, advertise that you're working with a local printer even, which is another added value for the products too.
Great. Thanks so much for demo and for answering all the questions, Lauren. We will have Lauren around. So if you happen to have more questions, feel free to just pop in the chat and ask the questions.
Yeah.
I can already see that there are a lot of you having some thoughts. But we're going to move to the part number 2. Can I have Sharon Mike back on here? I'd love to have them. Yes, thanks so much. Thanks so much, Lauren, again. I see Lauren's gone already. Hey guys, how did you like the demo by Lauren?
Oh, that was great. I was taking notes
I know,
here
we were
because
actually learning
I'm
so
like,
much.
oh wait, can we do that? I got to check that out. That's good. Yeah.
I didn't know. So because you guys have been using PicTime, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Can you share just your experience with Pic? Like, what was your favorite part about PicTime, or like how do you use PicTime in general?
Yeah, I think how we actually got started with PicTime is we were at ARC, which is a Canadian photography conference, and PicTime was there, and we were happy. I think we didn't know any better with what we were already using. But Marit, man, she's amazing. And so it was more of a connection first that we were like, we just want to be a part of PickTime because we loved her so much. And if you don't know who she is co-owner of, she started all of this. She's amazing.
She's amazing. I think I saw she's here in the chat. Hi, Narit, if you're here, or she was. Anyway, but yeah, we just wanted to be, I mean, after meeting with her, we're like, we just wanted to be a part of it.
We didn't even really know much.
And it was still, I think PickTime was pretty new. And like Sherry said, we were pretty happy with our gallery we were using, but so it wasn't a matter of we weren't even looking for a change, but it was like, oh man, we just really love the team and stuff. So let's look into this. So yeah, that was the start, the genesis of the relationship, I guess.
Yeah, but, it started with the relationship. That's always nice. It's a good start.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah, and then so for us, to be honest, so we kind of we joined PickTime, and it was awesome. But to be honest, like we were super busy at the time we joined. We had a pretty young new child, Augie, and so we were like, we want to set this up. So we started using the galleries because we were like, they're beautiful, they're easy to use, and just, I mean, what you can do with it and the aesthetics. But we didn't even touch the store. We had no idea what was like laying there ready to use for us. We didn't even touch it until we actually
during the pandemic.
During the pandemic, we were like, we kind of took it as like, let's get our sheet in order here. And so, shit, whatever. Sorry. We might not be, sorry. Anyways, but we were like, okay, let's do this. So we actually, funny here, you'll meet Troy, and I think Stace is here. We talked to Pepper and got Pepper to help us out. So Pepper actually set up our whole store back end for us and everything like that. And it's been amazing. So
and so you use the galleries, and now Pepper set you up with a store. And like, do you have any feedback from the clients, or like, do you see the orders coming up? Like does that work?
Yeah,
it does work.
It works great. Like, so that's what blew us away. So we got the store kind of like set up, and again, just we're working and busy. So we tried it. I think it was when did we try our first? It was the Black Friday.
Black Friday sale, yeah.
We were like, you know what? Let's just try it, like a sale. Like, so we did the Black Friday automation in 2020. In 2020. And just because we were like, well, we need to make some money, but also let's see if this works, and we want to try it. We started late because we jumped into it. It wasn't super efficient. I don't think we did everything properly and how we should. We just kind of went for it and like made like $5,000 off extra sales. So without really doing everything right, it was amazing. We were pretty blown away, and it was just a matter of, and that was off current, like existing clients. We just did a sale. And so the automations, once we got into seeing the automations and how they can work, we were like, whoa. And since then it's just been like a consistent, even when we send out previews now, we send out like a pretty extensive preview from a wedding, but even our most recent ones, it's like, we'll send out the early bird automation, and we've been getting sales.
Nice.
You don't honestly have to do anything, which is like,
so because we used to wait till we were done the whole gallery before we send out an early bird sale, because we were like, well, we want them to like see everything. But we realized that a lot of clients, especially now pandemic, because people can't have all their guests there and everything like that, and also the opportunity for like people sending out thank you cards and photos along with that kind of thing. A lot of clients want to do that within like a week or two of the wedding. They don't want to necessarily wait for a full gallery. So by giving larger previews where we intentionally like try to select, we include some family photos and try to include photos that they would potentially want to print for people, and then just pack that early bird sale on there. And we've just found just a consistent, anytime I get my credit card thing pop up, it'll be like, you got to charge your card. And I'm always at first like, what? Someone stole my, and then I realized, oh no, it was a PickTime sale. Yes. Yes. So,
oh no, I first made money, then I was charged.
That's right. Yeah, I just spent, but yeah. So like the thing, I think the biggest thing, what I love about it is like the team, like PickTime, they're not just comfortable with what they're doing. They're always trying to push to better serve their clients. They're always trying to go to the next level with what they're doing, and they never feel satisfied. Like, oh, we got this. This is good. They're always trying to do better and create a better experience for our clients, to create a better experience for their clients, which is us. Make it more accessible for us to, like print photos, to promote the printing photos, to like get prints into our clients' hands, which is important to us. And there's always new features. Like, we're not even using it as efficiently as we know that we could be. There's other things that we could be doing, which we love. So there's like room to grow in it, or there's room to like shift PickTime to use it how you want it. Maybe you just like it because you love that the galleries are beautiful. Well, that's great. Or the functionality of it. That's great too. But there's room to grow within it, So yeah. Anyways, that's
nice. Thanks so much.
We're still just learning it all,
And now slideshows. Which, amazing.
I will have, because I will be talking with Troy, who set you up, so I will maybe get a little bit into the details. But with you guys, I do wonder, because like you shared this nice tip about the previews and what do you include in the previews. That's a really great idea. So you kind of think like with previews as a potentially the print cells from the previews, right?
Yeah.
And like, how does that work for you guys? Do you send out the previews right away after the wedding, like a day after wedding? And how long is the process for you? Like, can you share a little bit with us?
Yeah, we take longer to deliver full gallery. So what we have decided to do is, but we like our clients to see photos quickly. And so usually within like 1 or 2 days, 2 days max, we send out usually around like an 80, it usually works out about an 80 image preview. And we actually send it as a slideshow because we want, especially during the pandemic, we found, like Mike said, it was usually 10 people that they could have at their wedding, maybe not even. And so for them to be able to send that to all of their loved ones immediately after a wedding, we felt like was just such a nice thing to do. And so the print part of it was never really like the intention of it, but we started to see, once Mike put the early bird promotion automation into it, we just started to see that, we were getting more sales. So that was never like the purpose of it. The purpose was to get them photos
excited,
right,
yeah.
But that was just like an added bonus once Mike started to do that. And
I've also, since like even in the little bit since we've started using the slideshows, because we did slideshows before through another company that we sent, awesome, love doing slideshows, but when it was attached right to the gallery, right there, you have people watching the slideshow because you can put it to music. There's such great music selection. You can so they're feeling the emotion, and right away they can just go click a button and print. Like right away. So you got to think like people are feeling like they're missing connection and missing family, and then they have the opportunity to like connect right to that right away from through PickTime and through the gallery. So so you're also providing, as much as like you're benefiting from it because you're making sales, you're providing a great service to your clients because people want to get their hands on those, and it's so easy. So
Yeah, with PickTime, I call it win-win-win. Like everyone wins in this scenario. Like we photographers win, our couples win, PickTime wins. Like everyone is happy here. Like labs win, so there's like even win-win-win-win-win, like a quadruple win, I guess. So it's a beauty about PickTime, I guess. And then like later on with your gallery, do you expire it or do you keep it for forever? Like what's your deal with that? Do you have like a set, workflow for that, or are you still working this out somehow?
So that's another thing. Like, because I know they have the gallery expiration automation that like a lot of people will talk about. We've actually watched a webinar. Was it Sam? I don't know, I think it was maybe Sam Heard. Anyways, we're talking about it and talking about how that's a big benefit to them. And that hasn't been something that we've done, but something that we're definitely shifting to do. So of course you have to so we've now shifted in our contracts where we don't just put a thing in our contracts now that state that their gallery will expire, but they can re-up it. So we're just in the process of implementing that side of it.
I think that's the important thing with the expiration, that your clients have to be aware of the how long will you keep the gallery, because I also used to have my contracts being like, hey, I'll keep it forever, or like for 12 months, or like some very extensive amount of time. But then the PicTime expiration came, and I was like, oh, I could be, I could be benefiting from that like way earlier, like maybe 6 months would be a good time, so they can share the photos with everyone, and then they can decide whether to keep it or not. And if they decide to keep it, they will just pay for my subscription, right? So it's again, win-win. So beautiful, nice. Thanks so much for sharing all the tips. There was one question, like at the very beginning, which vendors do you guys use for the fulfillment? Which labs do you use? Do you have like a specific labs? Because like you also serve a lot of international clients, but I'm guessing the question was about Canada.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we do use GTA for any of our printing. We haven't switched over to Decora yet. That is our plan. Decora is the Canadian album company, and we've heard amazing things about them. We have just for years been with a different album company, and so making that switch has just not happened yet. But GTA we have used for all of our printing. The feedback we've got from our clients is that they love them. We also got like a bunch of samples when we first started printing through them, and we're very, very happy. So that's who we currently use.
Yeah, so. and then also, and I think Lauren mentioned this. We also, and then if there's any products we want to offer that GTA or Decora don't offer, we use Bay Photo primarily out of the States, because they do have a better shipping deal with Canada. And so if we do go out, it's usually Bay, but I would say the vast majority of our printing we do through GTA. We still self-fulfill albums, so that's where the difference is a little bit. We do self-fulfillment on albums, so we do that as a separate thing, but we have talked about ways to incorporate PicTime into the process. So that's what I mean when I say there's room to grow. We're always learning new things you can do and new ways to serve your clients. And I think it's important to say, like, in all this, and then we'll get out of the way because there's lots of other amazing people to talk here. But I think it's important to say, like, I think at first for us with sales, it was always like the feeling like you don't want to feel like you're pressuring people and that, but realizing like, most of our clients want to get prints done. And so it's a pain to go and take them to try to get a print done, and they'll take them to Walmart, and then the photos don't look the quality they should, or they have to go through the effort to do that. Like, so as much as, like what you talked about, Magic, it's win, 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 win. This benefits our clients because they're able to get beautiful prints done. It's super convenient because it goes right to their door. And they're getting a product that we know is really good and can trust. And and at the same time too, with a little bit of urgency on the galleries, it's also, because we know this too, like printing our own photos of our child, we put it off and put it off and put it off. When there's a little sense of urgency, we get it done. Yeah. So at the same time, like for clients, if they know their gallery is going to expire, they'll get it done. And I think that's even why we've seen sales, even with this early bird, because people like will notice it'll be like, you'll get like the early bird's about to expire, and then boom, 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 a few sales will come in. So there's, It also puts a good pressure on your clients to make sure that they get the products that they want to get.
Thanks so much for these tips and for answering the questions. One last one with the preview gallery. Do you use it in the same gallery as the final gallery? Do you like upload the previews in a separate scene, or do you do a separate gallery for that?
Yeah, we tried both ways. We decided to keep the previews and then add in the full gallery. The previews are just nice because it is like a nice like highlight. So if they don't want to share like their full gallery with somebody, but they maybe just want to share like the preview, they can do that. So we decided to do it that way. We used to do it where we would just like eliminate that one and start a new one, but we decided to bring it in.
But say so what you can do though is, you can just hide the previous preview gallery. So that's often what we'll do once we upload their full new gallery, because that usually includes the preview photos in it too. So they're all in order and all together. Then we'll just hide the preview gallery.
Yeah, so, that's what I did too. Same. Okay, great. Guys, please do not go away. You will help me co-hosting and interviewing the next guest and maybe adding some Canadian flavor to the mix. So we'll have Jennifer Moher now here on stage. One second, sharing her pick time experience. Jennifer is coming in 3,
Jen!
2, 1. And Jennifer Mulhern. Yes, perfect. Countdown work. Hey, Jennifer.
It's you.
How are you doing? Are you enjoying the webinar?
I am enjoying it. You know what? This was great because it really forced me to clean my bedroom.
It's great to have a reason to clean your bedroom every once in a while. So if you ever need this again, let PickTime know, and we'll, do something with you, I guess. So Jen, you've been using PickTime, and I'd say, I've worked with you. I've seen your work. I've seen how you photograph people. You have very, I'd say, specific artistic. It sounds cliche, but artistic approach. Like your photos have a very distinctive style to it. You're we can see that your bedroom is nice, stylish, and so on. While my room is all mess. So how does PickTime work for you and for your vision of the whole experience with the clients?
Oh my gosh. Well, it was honestly, before I was using PickTime, I was using another photo gallery, which I won't name. And prior to that, I've been doing this for 12 years. So prior to that, I was doing the DVDs in the little, cardboard envelopes, and I'd mail them to my clients.
Yes.
Have a little custom stamp on there.
Yeah.
Really just to reinforce that brand. And I was really, trying to keep that aesthetic flowing through from my photos to all the packaging that we used to put in, to all of our galleries and whatnot. So I was doing that, and then I switched to a gallery because I was like, this is crazy. Why am I doing this? And my whole, literally my whole mantra for life is where's the easy button, right? How can I make my life as simple as I possibly can? And how can I automate everything? So initially I found out about another online gallery, and I was like, this is great. This will be amazing. And then I realized that it was lacking in just matching my brand and my aesthetic. And I felt like I wish that I had something that could just connect to my website and look like my website and, present the gallery in a beautiful way, because that presentation is so important, as we all know, right? So then I found out about PickTime, and the thing that sold me on it was their little previews of, and I don't know if you guys, I got in a little late at 15 minutes after 1, but the previews of how their images would look on, say, an album or a print or a calendar, and just the minimalist modern design, all of that. I was like, oh, I'm so sold. Literally, I feel like my bedroom looks like PickTime.
Yeah.
It's me and my brand so well. So it really worked. But it's also so clean and minimal that you can kind of use that and infuse it with your brand.
Jennifer, I'm sorry, can you speak a little closer to the computer, because we get the feedback that you are a little bit too...
Totally. Okay, is this better if I go really close?
Yeah, you have to go really close, or just crank it up.
Get in there.
Oh my God. So anyway, can you guys hear me? Is this good?
Yeah.
It's better.
Can you see my pores?
Yes.
Am I looking good? So yeah, I basically switched at that point. And again, I really like things to be simple. So when it came to, all the tech stuff, the automations, I procrastinated it for so long, similar to Sherry and Mike. I was just well, it's a pretty gallery, and it's, I'm giving my clients their photos. It's perfect, whatever. And I really relied on just talking to people at weddings rather than sending coupons and sending all these reminders. Because in my last gallery, you really had to, be on top of it, and you couldn't automate it as much. So I would use my words at weddings, and I would always chum up with the mother of the bride or the mother of the groom. And I'd hardcore sell to her, but in subtle ways, I'd be like, oh my God, this is going to look so beautiful. Imagine this, printed on your wall, or you could even have your own album. And I just drop.
Oh, nice.
So, but I believe in it. Like I have so many of my own photos. I have like my own photos just sitting here that I printed from just from shoots. So when I do my own family shoots, I'll just upload them to PicTime and then I'll use that as my way to print my own family photos, which is probably ridiculous, but it just makes sense.
That's what we do too.
Yeah.
That's
That
what
was
we do.
kind of my avenue into it. And I've dabbled a few times with like, oh, let's try some coupons or some sales. And it's usually when I'm like feeling like I'm poor and I have no money. So so I go in and I'm like, I can make money here. And usually it's like a quick like $1,000 or $2,000 just like coming at me. And anytime that I've used my words at weddings and really like upsold in that, you know, kind of like sly way, I usually end up adding like $2,000 to my wedding packages just from prints, which is just mind blowing. It's so
Yeah. That's a great tip. So like the thing that you say to them in person, that you promote it like with your heart. I think that's like the one of the biggest possibilities to make additional sales from PicTime is just sharing with people the excitement of printing photos, even on our social media. I guess just maybe showing that. I think I sold like 5 calendars when I shared a photo of the calendar that I made with PicTime. I just take a photo, put it on Instagram stories, and people are like, oh, how can I get this one? I was like, it's in your gallery. Here is the coupon.
And I don't know about you guys, but I know for probably a lot of my clients, we're just so sick of being sold to, right? Like we get things in our inbox and we're like, someone else trying to sell us something. And it just feels really overwhelming, especially right now when we're all, a little bit broke. So
Yep.
I just feel like having that conversation and selling that way just suits me a little bit more. And I think clients respond a little bit better to that. Like when you kind of romanticize it using your own words rather than like, here's an email. So the emails are great and the automation is great. But for me, this is just my tactic that I like to use. Also, I always feel like I'm way too busy to do anything else. So whatever route is easiest is always best for me.
Great. We do have a question for you, Jen. Do you have any favorite printers on PicTime?
I use a mix. So I use GTA and I use Decora. It just depends on the product. There's certain things that some offer and the other ones don't. So as I go through my product list, I see it's kind of like back and forth between the two of those. And like Mike and Sherry said, I use Bayphoto for, I think like 2 products are from Bayphoto just because I didn't have something local that worked. But yeah, the products are beautiful. Like I've actually ordered a few things myself because there's that disconnect when it's an online gallery and your clients are ordering it and they go straight to your clients. You don't actually ever get to see that end product. So I have my own family prints here, but I also have this beautiful little album, and it's just like it's like recycled paper. Like it's just so beautiful, but it's just an album from a wedding. And the layout is just so simple and kind of that like classic minimalist look that I love. So yeah, I love it. Like I'm a fan for life.
If there's anyone I can think of that like PicTime's aesthetic like resonates with or like it connects with, it's you. I feel like when we first saw it, we maybe thought you were a partner in like creating it or something because it's like it's so on with you and your brand and just you. I feel like so.
Yeah, I like how clean it is, and I like that. Honestly, like I said, the seller for me was just seeing your own photos. It's like, do you guys remember when you used to go and make I don't know, like a business card on some like Vistaprint, and then they'd be like, here's all the other items you can throw your logo on, and be like bags and pens and all this stuff, and I'd be like, shit, I need this, and I would just throw them all because like my logo looks so good on it. So I feel like that's kind of the same thing that our clients are experiencing, right? Like they're seeing their faces, their beautiful artwork that we've created for them on calendars and albums and whatever
Yeah.
else. It's so cool.
It's so important to like, and I mean that's the thing. And I mean that's people, right? Like once we can see ourselves in something, then we can believe it, right? It's hard for us to imagine stuff, but once we can visually see something and ourselves in that, and that's like a life thing, right? But it's like then you can truly believe it. Like we always, with even booking wedding clients, it's like, how do you get, because we'll hear from people like, oh, we might not look like all the people on your blog, but we would love, and I hate that. And it's like, how do we get those people to see themselves within, you know, a context and not looking at someone else? And if they're always looking at albums, they're always looking at prints of other people, they're like, wow, that's a beautiful print, but that's not us. So like you're saying, it's like, oh, that's us. That looks amazing. I want it, you know?
Yeah, it's so cool. And I think there's this element of FOMO as well, like that fear of missing out. They see their beautiful photo on whatever item it may be, and then they're like, oh my God, what if I don't get it? Like it's gone forever. Like they've seen it. It now exists in their brain. So if they don't click and order that, it's like, where did it go? Yeah, it's so cool. I love it.
Yeah, we do have one question, maybe not about pick time, but since we have you here, it's a question from Katuri. Do you work alone, Jennifer? Like, do you shoot alone? Do you have second shooters? How do you work?
Yeah, I pretty much just work alone, especially now because weddings are so much smaller. I do have the option of having a second shooter come along with me, but for the most part, the way that I like to shoot and the weddings that I typically tend to shoot are smaller, intimate, 30 people weddings. So yeah, I just work by myself, and I kind of prefer it that way because I find when I have a second shooter with me, even though I love the company, I get kind of distracted, and I'm, like I'll find myself in the corner gossiping with that person when I could just be, eating dinner with the father of the groom or something and chatting with him and learning his life story and making an impact that way. And then in turn, booking more clients from that wedding through.
It helps with your strategy as well, like being in the wedding and, with the people. There's one more question about the markups and the pricing. But I think because we're going to have a panel with all of us just after each of you share your thoughts. And I think it's worth sharing with a lot more people that like everyone can just share their opinions. So we're going to keep this for a next person. So thanks so much, Jennifer. Great to see you, by the way, and great to hear your feedback. And thanks for all the tips about selling on site, selling your online work on site at the wedding. So now we're gonna have Tomasz Wagner from Vancouver. So thanks again, Jennifer, Tomasz. I'd like to ask you to turn on your camera so we can all see you. How's it going, my friend?
There we go.
Oh, you have a beautiful microphone.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you perfectly.
Okay,
hey, are we again matching T-shirts?
I've got, pardon? No, I think you've got sharks and I've got floral.
I do.
All right.
I think we did that once before, that I had this T-shirt and you had yours. I think you're being smart here and just you were watching us and you changed your T-shirt, by the way.
Well, I'm totally inspired by you. I've got the ponytail now. I just need to put on a hat, which I could go grab, but we'll go from there.
Okay, great to see you, Tomasz. And you've got some interesting things to share with Pick Time because you have your own specific way of using the store. I even remember when you showed me your prints. You do your prints yourself, right?
That's correct. Yeah. And
is there a reason? Yeah. I think I know the answer, but I want you to say, what's the reason that you want to print yourself?
So before I move forward, because we have 74 participants, I want everyone to spam hearts right now. Everybody, just in chat, just spam them. But to move forward, I think years ago when I was using a different gallery, there weren't as many labs as there are now. And I wanted more control over my work. I kind of wanted to see my own prints right away. And that kind of changed the way I also edit my work. If it's brighter, if it's darker. And I really got to feel that when I printed my own stuff in person. But also I wanted to provide a space in Vancouver to sometimes send clients, or not even clients, my own colleagues prints, because most people would be shipping from the US or it would be really long. And I found a couple people reaching out, they needed a print within a day or two, and I could just do that for them right here. Yeah, Sharon Mike and Sachin. Sachin lives like 5 blocks away. He's like, I need a print tomorrow. I was like, just send it in. I'll print for you and I'll get it done. So it was really nice to meet more people in the neighborhood and get prints for them. But also the way I do this is like, I do at the end of the year, I send out like a thank you package to all my clients, and I love printing all of their stuff in-house. I got to kind of review them. I get to write notes for everybody. And it's nice to see all that here.
So you have some personal touch to it. That's also a thing. Like, do you add some notes as well, like beside just quality control and being control freak over your artistic work, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's really hard to give that up when you want it to look a certain way, you want it to print out a certain way. And when it's nice to also have right in person. So you have everything here. Instead of like having maybe some issues of shipment and delays and whatnot. But I enjoy that whole aspect. And I feel like when clients do get it, it has been done all in-house here.
And how does PicTime work for you in this matter?
Yeah, so this is a great thing. PicTime does do self-fulfillments, as this was touched on. And when that happens, you could pick your own payment company. Like I use Stripe, and they handle all of my payment options for me. Once that comes in, I print in-house. But I also do a bit of mix. So if I have clients getting married in the US and they're American, I pick a couple options with Bayphoto. So I'll do like my own prints here, but any calendars, any gift cards or anything, I guess, albums, they could kind of use through Bayphoto or GTA here.
Okay, so you are using both automated fulfillments for certain orders, and then for some products you do it at home. And then, do you see that clients, what's the feedback? That's what I want. What's the feedback when they receive it? Do a lot of people get, like, I'm guessing if you serve Canadians, they have to be nice and say thank you at least. How does that work for you?
Well, they're all introverts. They pretend they love it for sure. And especially with the self-fulfillment lab, I could upload my own photos. So if I print out my own work and I want to show that, you could upload those photos. I mean, PicTime does a great job because you could see photos that are coming from Baylab or GTA, and you could add your own. So if you wanted to do a shoot with your prints and present them, that's a good way to do that. And PicTime lets you automate and put in your own description of how heavy the paper is and what kind of paper you print in. And even if you want to say it's printed in-house, I'm able to do it right here. It's, one thing I want to touch on, which I know is not, it's a small little thing that PicTime offers, but I think it's enormous, is the chat option. If a client, like PicTime represents you. So if a client is having maybe problems like putting in an order, or they're not as tech savvy, or it's grandma, she could always hit the help button, and PicTime's there helping you get through that order, which is incredible. They don't have to contact me. They don't have to contact you. It's like, how do I get this order? Why is my, coupon not working? They answer that for me.
Or
small,
why am I
huge.
cropped in the middle or something like that?
Stuff like that, yeah. How do I send this order through? All of that kind of good stuff.
One is nice too, right? Like, because that's so good. That's so good to us. Because like we got an email the other day from a dad, and he was like, "Hey, if I want different cropping on a photo or whatever," and we were able to say like, "Yeah, you can actually do it right in the store." Like, so we didn't have to like go and like recrop it for him or anything like that. And he figured it out really quick and easy. I don't know if he used the help chat, but it's just nice to have that support there to be able to like, so. And all that to say, it was weird getting an email like that because we haven't got many of those. Whereas before we would always get, "Hey, can we tweak it, change it, blah, blah, blah," So that's really good.
Yeah. And especially if you're doing self-fulfillment, you can see the dad, he's cropped his ex-wife out of the photo, and it's.
Yeah. That's it.
And there are two more things that I want to ask you, Tomasz. One is that you also, because I've seen your setup when you shot the products, So you do a lot of your own product photos to share with your clients in the brochure or on the website, I think. How does that work for you? Okay, can you maybe share some tips? What's the best way to present the products for you, or what works best for you?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I try to stick with the style that I have, which is very like sharp lines, lots of contrast. And so when I do set up some of those, it's exactly the same sort of ordeal. If they see their photos like that, I want to shoot it the same way. There's not much to really go on that by.
I was like, yeah, Thomas sent just when we started the webinar, he sent me a text message like, don't ask me too hard questions.
Take it easy on me.
Take it easy. Okay, so I have one more for you. The art galleries. As you shoot a lot of stuff outside of weddings. You shoot a lot of travel photography. I've seen your amazing work from the film cameras that you use, and I've heard that you use art gallery. I haven't seen it, to be honest. I don't know anything how you use it. So if you could share with us, how does that work for you?
Yeah, so obviously, when I shoot outside of weddings, I just shoot film. I just love the aesthetic of film. I enjoy when I travel not to look at the back of my camera. I just want to photograph my journey and kind of relive it months later. So that way I could, feel like I'm reliving the trip. So a lot of the photos is also very authentic. I don't have to edit too often. It's straight from the film, straight from the camera. And it feels more, I guess, to me, more genuine because there is no way to alter this image and change it. So I do have, through PicTime, my own art gallery, which I'll post in the chat later if anybody wants to see that. And then, same thing. I print everything from home. And if there are orders that are much larger, like if you want a 24 by 36, then I go with another lab, but I still get it printed here, checked, signed, and send it off to you.
Oh, okay. So anytime someone orders a print like that, you won't get it shipped. You'll still ship it out so you can quality control it. Because I was wondering about that with that. Okay, that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I just there's another company that I have that isn't part of PicTime, that is in Vancouver, that uses the same paper as I do. And so it's really nice to blow that up into a much bigger image. So I'll post the art gallery in there. Yeah.
Nice. Thanks so much. So everyone go buy a print from Tomas.
Right there.
It's right there. Tomas, give us a coupon code. I know you have a strong. I know you have a strong marketing. I like the path with your discounts and stuff. But again, I want to touch about this in the panel. So we're gonna leave this for the panel. So thanks so much again, Tomas, for your knowledge. Thanks so much. Yeah, that's what I want to say basically. We're gonna have Erica from 2 Min Studios next. Wait, I have to find Erica here in the chat. Erica, if you can hear me, you can raise your hand using the oh yes, perfect. Nice. Are you enjoying this so far, Mike and Shari?
Oh,
Love it.
This is great. Like I said, these are my notes for like personal stuff. This is awesome.
Oh, there's Erica.
Oh,
Hi,
guys.
Erica.
Hey Erica, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
As you can see, we're doing great. We're having fun with a bunch of I'm having fun with a bunch of Canadian people, and you guys are having fun with each other. So thanks so much for joining us.
Of course.
You guys you've been around like wedding photography for a long time, and like with your very distinct, dynamic, contrast, powerful style. So I kind of also do wonder how that like how your approach to delivering images change across the years, and like how did you end up with PicTime, and what was your driving force to switch to PicTime or to use PicTime?
Yeah, for sure. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Erica, and we're a husband-wife team as well. Lanny's somewhere in the house, probably editing photos without his shirt on. So he's probably not going to make an appearance.
Oh, come on, Lanny.
his like default mode of being is shirtless. So he's, anyways.
I feel like I've seen that at conferences before. Actually, I feel like
Yeah, maybe like on the karaoke stage or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So we definitely have a very formalized workflow when it comes to delivering our images, because the experience that we give our clients is probably more when we deliver their photos shapes how they experience those photos, and it's going to impact how they experience those photos more than the actual photos themselves. So we definitely have a very formalized, and it morphs and changes every year in order to try and get it better. And PicTime, well, PicTime is becoming more and more of that experience for our clients. Of course, at first it was just a gallery, and for many reasons that have been said already by the previous speakers, it was mostly because of aesthetics that we first switched over. We want everything that our photos are a part of, whether it's our blog, our website, or the gallery, to put the photos front and center, like to make it all about the photos, because the photos are what make our clients feel. So that's why I switched. And also, like Jen, or no, who was it that said? Yeah, it was Sherry, about how Neera is just so awesome. So we met her at Way Up North, and actually we met her and Amir, and we just really bonded with them. They've got kids, we've got kids. We really like family-run companies. We're a family-run company, so it just made sense to go with them that way. But the slideshow feature is what we've started using most recently, and it's huge, because one of the things we try and do when we deliver our photos is to train our clients to value and like the same photos that we value and like. Because as photographers, we often know better, right? We know which photos are better. Like, we've got a better eye than most of our clients. Actually, I shouldn't say that out loud, because we shoot a lot of wedding photographers' weddings who may be on here, but it's not the case with wedding photographers. But I feel like the way we roll out our reveal is the first thing that we show our clients is the slideshow. And the first thing that you ever show your clients is going to be the thing that they're most emotionally connected to. So in that respect, I would say we're probably not making the best decision. I know a lot of photographers, the first thing they show their clients is their album, because they make better album sales, because the thing their clients are most emotionally invested in is what they first see. For me, that doesn't feel right. It feels, it almost feels a little bit manipulative to me. So we show them our slideshow first. And the fact that we can front load their gallery with that slideshow now just furthers that training process of, these are the best images. These are the ones you're going to fall in love with the most. And then we order the gallery in the same way. So we do all the artisan edits first, and then we do all the other edits below chronologically.
Nice. So you divide it by scenes, right? You create a scene with the artisan, or just chronological?
Yeah. So we create a scene with the artisan edits. So for those who don't know our process, we basically have a 2-tier level of editing, because Lanny's obsessive about editing, like obsessive. Like, I'll go out to go to the grocery store and he'll be working on an image, and I'll go out for like literally half a day, and I'll come back home and he's working on the same image. So we can't do that for all the photos, else they'd be waiting, 7 years for their wedding photos. So we've got the 2-tier level of editing, and most of the clients that aren't photographers don't see too much of a difference between Lanny's edits and the edits that we get done by Image Salon. But it's nice to have those separated in the gallery, because A, we can front load the gallery with all those artisan edits, which are the ones that we want them to love the most. And B, it means we don't have to put those 2 edits right next to each other. Because if they're viewed next to each other, you can kind of see the difference. But if they're viewed, a few scrolls away from each other,
no way. There's no way. Yeah, they will tell the difference.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
nice, great. So slideshows, and then I'm guessing the slideshow includes the artisan edits images, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Nice. So great. So they have like a great highlight. And do you like, because you said about rolling out the gallery, is there a time that you send out the slideshow first and then wait some time, or do you do that all at once?
Yeah, no, good question. And yeah, so what we do is we send out the slideshow first. And we actually host the slideshow on our website. So with the PickTime slideshow feature, you can download the slideshow and then host it on your own website, which is was key for us. And then we let the slideshow sizzle for a few days. So we don't tell them that their gallery is ready. And in between the slideshow and when we deliver the gallery is when we blog. So, and we do this very strategically because the slideshow is for their personal use only. The blog is for our future clients, right? The blog is for all our future bride and grooms. So it's a even further curated down collection of their images. And we would rather them share the blog than their gallery, because the blog is our branding. The blog, we have full control over the images that are showed and the arc of the narrative and all that sort of stuff. So we do slideshow, blog, and then gallery.
Nice. So slideshow also boosts the website traffic, I guess, because a lot of people are gonna go and see the slideshow on your website. So that's a great tip from you. Love those tips from you. Love how you shared your strategy with us. Thanks so much. We're gonna have the next speaker. So we're gonna talk about prices a little bit afterwards. So we're gonna keep you here, Erica, for the panel, and maybe we'll have some more, interesting discussions between the people. But thanks so much for this insights.
My pleasure. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Erica.
On how you guys use the PickTime. Oh my God, that was amazing. Like every time Erica or Lanny share something with the crowd, it's just like crowd goes wild. So please go wild in the chat so they can feel that. And I'll just have time to ask Troy to come here. So we're gonna have Troy from Meat Pepper, so the agency. Yes, hello Troy.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Okay. I'm great.
Do you enjoy it so far? Do you enjoy our webinar so far?
Yeah, it's amazing. I find that the community is like really exciting.
It's so cool.
I was really excited.
Oh, sorry, Magic. It's cool to see how everyone like uses everything so differently, right? Like everyone uses PickTime, and that's like in different ways it works with them, and that's what's so amazing about it. It's so like malleable to where you're at in your business, and so yeah. Anyways, malleable.
Yes. I think that's one of the powers of PickTime as a provider, that it can be suited to different business models, and that's why I'm also like I'm gonna finish now the sentence. I'm really excited to speak with Troy because you do work with a lot of photographers, I'm guessing, and you do set up PickTime for other photographers. So you set up it differently for a bunch of folks. I'm like, that's my guess at least. And first of all, can you just share maybe your experience and your favorite parts about PickTime, and then I'll maybe go a little bit more specific with strategies that you use.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm actually fairly new to PickTime because I'm fairly new to Pepper, and so I was using another gallery software. I guess we're not saying names, so I was saying it, but. But then as soon as I was introduced to PickTime, it was like an automatic switch over. And I think it's like, not only is the galleries absolutely amazing, but the automations, like there's just no other software that has that. And yeah, it is completely customizable. So we've talked about, everybody has like a different workflow and everybody has a different process. I think, the automations, they don't even have to be used as sales or coupons. You could almost use that as like newsletters to go out to your clients every month. You could set it to every gallery, right? So yeah, it is kind of interesting, and I've learned a lot because I'm new. I just like it was like I'm just like immersed in it like full force, and it's so much to learn. But yeah, every photographer that we work with is different, and so it's kind of neat. You can sit down with them and you can say, okay, what's your goal and what do you want to provide your clients, and then you can customize it for them, or you could provide ideas based on what their goal is.
Nice. And sorry, because I did not mention you are a photographer running your own business as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I'm hoping you also use PicTime.
I do, but I spend a lot of time in other people's PicTime accounts.
Okay, so the first question comes to my mind with like you knowing all these PicTime, ways of doing things. What would be one thing that you would suggest that everyone should install, right? Like from the apps, is there one that you always install in every account that you manage?
Yes, abandoned cart.
Okay, make notes, people. Abandoned cart. That's the first one.
Yeah, that's the first one, and then I think I think a lot of the times you get into PicTime and it might seem a little confusing because there's just so many options. I think that the one thing that you should kind of pick a route or pick something to kind of focus on and keep it simple. Like you don't have to use every single campaign and every single automation, because otherwise you're going to be starting to think like, okay, when are they going to receive this one? And when are they going to receive this one? And then it just gets really confusing. So I think, if you want to install like the simple sales solution and you have that kind of 3 tiers of pricing for your packages, then go with it. The early bird and the gallery expiration, that's a pretty sweet one too, if you can run with that, because you can like stagger those emails and like throughout the year. Those are just a couple I think that you could kind of get started on.
Mm-hmm. And since the Sharon and Mike said they were so successful with early bird, is there any tips you can give it? Like, so you set up early bird with the full app, because there's one with early bird and there is the separate early bird. Which one do you use and why? And why was it so successful with Sharon, Mike, and how all the other Canadians can have the same success?
Sharon, Mike, was it the new home campaign? Right? Like when you moved all of your galleries into it and then you sent out like, this is your new home.
That one was you actually.
Yeah. So we did that. That was our first thing, jump into it. And so I think, talking about technical aspects and how we don't always do everything perfect and stuff like that. And we're all figuring it out. So that one we did pretty good on sending out the new home, but realized that, there was just like, and this is another thing to check. Sometimes if you're migrating over to PicTime from another gallery, sometimes some of the emails we had a problem with like old emails and stuff. So some people that we thought were getting the galleries weren't, and that was just because they switched email. So you sometimes have to contact your clients to update them when you get their new. Just a little tip. But yeah, so we did I could tell a handful of the automations we've done. We did that one. But then the one we do now, like you were saying, Troy, just keep it really simple, is we just tack the early bird on. So it's like an early bird percentage off for 2 weeks when people first get their gallery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that, and then I think I love like Erica, she like puts out the gallery first or the slideshow. I think that that's awesome too. Everybody's got so many good ideas. And that's the thing, is there is so many ideas, and you could just like get completely overwhelmed and be like, okay, I have to put into place all of these, but you don't have to. Like, you guys run the early bird and it works for you. You guys know your clientele, right? So probably what's going to work already. And I think like, just don't get just go with your gut and don't get so worked out.
And that's the thing, like it also, like you're saying too, Troy, like it know your clients, know your timing too. Like part of the reason why we're doing the early bird now this way is because of the pandemic and because people are having small weddings and they want to share photos right away with people. So it's just kind of giving people an extra opportunity to do that right now. I don't know if we'll always do that with the early bird with previews. We might do a different thing because we don't want to swamp people with like sales and too much of that stuff. We're definitely not about that. So just we want to give the right things to our clients at the right time, and that's with all the options that you have. There's options to adjust and shift, and
that's actually something that Erica said, and like how like, I mean, over the years, or maybe it was Jennifer, but over the years, like your process changes and your workflow changes. And so say you just like decide, I'm going to focus on this for right now. Well, you can change your mind. I always say I'm a woman, I can change my mind, but Mike, you can too.
Okay, I do have one more question to you. Like, so when you, because I don't know, maybe that's something that would be specific to Canada or to Canadian audience. Like, is there a good balance in terms of how much salesy you are in Canada? I don't know, like how many reminders do you always set with your automations, or do you always do just announcement and then one day before, or like what, like is there anything here that you could share with us that works best, or you tend to set up because you feel that feels right?
Yeah, if we send too many, we just say sorry. We just apologize as Canadians, right?
That's easy.
I always kind of think like quarterly, I think like like 4 sales a year if they're kind of a regular client. Obviously for wedding photographers, it's going to be a bit different because, if they get like an early bird one, or then you might have them set up with like 6 month or like or when their gallery is going to expire and you offer them. Or if it's like a family session, or maybe you have like specific, instead of saying like early bird and then gallery expiration, maybe you do it on like Mother's Day. So you really want to have one for Mother's Day or Father's Day. And maybe you set that only to certain specific galleries. You might not necessarily set that. You may set that to a family gallery instead of a wedding gallery. Or, like one for mine is like family day or family week, because people are really thinking about their families. And I do mostly family, like lifestyle sessions. So that's a big one for me. And then I always make sure that I have a Christmas card campaign. So I think you just want to, in my mind, I try to think quarterly and I try to think 4 a year. That doesn't seem like too many to me. If I think about my client, my personal clientele, that something like that wouldn't be a big deal to them. And me personally, like I honestly, like my email just gets filled up and I don't want to see like so many sales. It also, I think, devalues your work a little bit if you have too many sales. If you're having a sale every week or whatever, then you kind of.
So four a year is a good balance.
I feel like that, but I would like to hear people's opinions on that. Actually,
yeah, we can take take this question to the panel as well. One more for you with those emails in those campaigns. Like, do you use them the pre-written messages, the templates that there are, or do you write them yourselves? What's your go to here?
A little bit of both. So like I love that the copy is there and it gets you started. What I do for our clients, like if I'm working on another photographer's account, I'll actually take the copy from the PickTime newsletter campaign that I'm working on and I'll put it into a Google Drive, and then I'll make some changes. If they're a creative or photographer that we've been working with for a little while and I know their language, then I'll make it sound more like them, right? Like if a photographer would normally say, you can order images that you can caress for years, or they have like a funny language, then you can put that in there. If it's a photographer that I'm working with, like for the first time, I put the copy in there and then I ask them to make it sound more like them. And that's one way that I find out how they, like what their language is. So then the next time I set up an automation for them, it's easy, it's more simple, and they have to change less, right?
Yeah.
But I definitely think what PickTime's set up already is pretty awesome. The copy that's in there, like you could almost just go ahead and push send on it if you don't want it super personable. Like it's
a great start.
And the great part with the automations too, right, Troy, is you could just invest a day, go through, set up all of those automations,
Yeah.
and then they're available for whenever you want to turn them on to a particular gallery. So it's not like you're creating a new automation every time. It's like, that's what's been so great is like we created this like early bird one for previews, and then it's just a matter of now it's written, it's sent, you just click a little thing and turn it on as part of the gallery process, and boom, it's great.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Is like, yeah, once you create something, it's not always on. Like what Mike said is like you can turn it on for that gallery. We created for one photographer like a thank you for leaving a review, and it was a free 8x10 and a 20% coupon. So within one email, like within one newsletter, I put both coupons in there. So that's one thing that you should know. Like you could use the automations without coupon codes, and you can use it as a newsletter, but you could use the coupon codes without an email. Like you can turn off all the emails and you can just put it in a banner. So you could set an automation to all of your galleries that's just a banner, but nobody would get an email for it. You can turn off emails. So I think lots of people probably don't know that.
Yeah, that's a nice one. And you can also turn off all the banners and just use, a coupon in a text message or call a person. Like I would guess Jennifer would do that. Just, pick up the phone and be like, hey, I have a coupon code for you. Okay, I'm going to invite everyone on this. Thanks so much, Troy. Thanks so much for sharing all these tips. Love it. Love the way you do stuff and know stuff about PicTime, because that's a powerful knowledge these days, I guess. So I'm going to invite everyone to turn on the cameras so we can have maybe some of these topics taken to the broader panelists. So the one of the things that I think that we started with, and could be nice to hear your guys' thoughts on it, is the gallery expiration, because there was also a question here: how long do you guys keep the galleries, and why, and is there any specific workflow with that? So if I could start with Jennifer, could you just tell us, like, do you have specific approach for that? Like, how long do you keep the gallery? Do you have workflow? And so you don't.
So I've actually kept my galleries like since I started with PicTime. I have never let anything expire. And I've actually got sales from weddings from like 3 years ago. So like I definitely obviously see the benefit of the gallery expiration. And I'll probably implement it at some point because it's starting to get very full in there. But yeah, I mean, as far as my workflow goes, it just comes down to like those little reminders that I'll put out here and there. Like Christmas time, I always tend to put something out like around the holiday season. A few of you guys were mentioning the same thing. So yeah, I do that, but I don't let anything. You don't
expire. Any one of you, maybe it's going to be simpler. Any one of you expire galleries? Erica.
Okay, so I do with my family sessions. So with the weddings is much more about an all-inclusive experience. So I'm delivering the entire story from the wedding, and I want them to have and they're paying a much bigger price tag as well. But for my family sessions, it's very much about going through the photos with them and helping them decide on what they want to print and put on their walls. And there's a whole sort of sales session I have along with those. And if I keep their gallery up indefinitely, they will just keep on putting off. So with the family sessions, I only keep the gallery up for like 5 days. And then
very short period of time. Mm-hmm.
Very short. And then I'll re-put it up if they ordered a bunch of images. If they ordered 20 photos or spent thousands of dollars, or they ordered the digital files, then I'll put it up and it'll stay up indefinitely. But I don't want, with those sessions, it's much more strategically about selling. So
yeah, that makes
having
sense.
an indefinite gallery would kill that potential. Yeah.
Great. Anyone else want to touch on this? I see cats and babies. That's nice. No, the baby's not here anymore. Okay, so like I'm going to say that with me, I'm changing what I said when I was talking with Char and Mike. I'm changing my approach to the expiration of the gallery, but it does need time because you need to communicate with the client. So for those of you who are planning to do this, just keep that in mind, that you cannot just expire a client's gallery if you said and saw something else before. So it has to come with new weddings, with new clients. But I love that idea with the urgency of the when they expire a gallery, they kind of feel like, oh, we finally need to make a decision. I have a client that purchased a subscription for the gallery backup for 2 years already, and it's been messaging me for 2 years, the bride, being like, I finally need to sit and design those albums. And I'm like, yeah, you do. I sent you coupon codes 3 times, and she even a year ago, so a year after the wedding, she already wanted to pay me for the albums. She was like, I'm going to pay you upfront for the albums, and then one day I'm going to do them. But I didn't want to take money upfront. Maybe I was stupid. That was before pandemic. So Thomas,
I have one thing to say. Instead of expiring your galleries, you could always do a 1-year anniversary and then provide a discount. Like I usually increase my prices because I do self-fulfillment about 5 times, so 500%. And I always give like a 1-year anniversary, or when galleries are delivered, 50%. And that way your client doesn't feel bad like their gallery is about to expire and they're going to lose all their photos, and they try to message you like, oh my God. It's more like an incentive to purchase, and if the gallery coupon does expire, their photos are still there and they can still make a purchase. Or they can reach out and be like, I had family emergency and stuff like that, and I'll be like, yeah, don't worry, I'll extend your coupon. And they're like, thank you, and they might put an order through then.
Nice. Well. Yeah. So yeah, speaking of the markups and the pricing in general, because as you said, you keep them, you tend to keep them quite high in terms of the base price, but then do you always run some sort of a discount, or do you always you do them periodically, like this 500%, like 50% once in a year? How does that work?
Yeah, I do mine periodically. It's a 1-year anniversary during their gallery delivery. So within the week or 2, I deliver the photos. They get a big discount, and then I do like holiday sales, like a spring and Christmas, of like less, like 40%.
Okay.
That's how I do.
So you have tiers of 30, 40, and 50% of the sales.
Yeah, 40 and 50, but 4 sales for the year. Yeah.
So the numbers that works for you. How about others? Do anyone have their way of working out, like low margins, high margins, big discounts?
So I actually used to, with my last gallery, I would do a discount right up front. So I would do, sorry for the distraction. I would do a 20% discount. I would obviously mark the prices up a little bit to account for that, but it would just give this salesy sort of edge, I guess. And people, I don't think that they were as likely to purchase at that point, or my clients weren't anyway. Whereas when I would do a holiday thing, or like Tomasz was saying, a 1-year anniversary, I ended up making more money that way than instantly, you've just paid thousands and thousands of dollars for your wedding. Now here, buy more things. The idea of doing it a few months later just kind of sat better with me, and seems to be with my clients as well. That's when I make most of my sales.
Oops.
And I will speak to that too, Jan, because what you said, because I know we talked about, we do the early bird right away to offer it, and I will say, because with the spending, your clients just spend a bunch of money and that sort of thing for a wedding. We actually find most of our early bird sales aren't from our clients. They're from family. They're from other people that they have shared the gallery with, and they're ordering photos. So that is true, Jan. So to offer your clients something special at a later date, where they've already had some time to sink in, to miss their wedding a little bit, to recuperate and earn some funds back, is really good to do, because yes, that's why, if we just did the early bird, we would probably miss out on a lot of opportunities to get prints into our clients' hands. But we are finding it's really beneficial to guests that couldn't be there, and family is who a lot of our orders are coming from in that sort of sense, or thank you cards. So because PicTime offers thank you cards too. So those we've actually found have turned into a lot of our sales too, which has been great. And the ones they offer, there are tons of great options. Thank you cards, Christmas cards, holiday cards, all that kind of stuff has been a big portion of our sales as well. So
Nice. Anyone else want to add something? Just wondering, because I have one more question in the sleeve. So there was one question about the high-res downloads. What your guys' approach is? Do you allow, like, are you all inclusive? Do you allow all the images to be downloaded high-res by your main clients, or do you sell them, or maybe do something else? And
We don't.
okay, raise hands who allow downloads.
I can go. It depends on the session. For weddings, yeah, it comes with our wedding package, but we also do include prints and an album in all the wedding packages. And the prints actually come as a surprise. So when the couples, like about 2 weeks after the wedding, when we have the sneak peeks ready, they actually just show up at their house as 8x12 matted prints. And our intention with that is so that they have something tangible in their hands, and we can order them right off PickTime, something tangible in their hands, something tactile, and they can see the value of print right away. So hopefully when their gallery comes out, they are ordering more prints. What was the question again?
Yeah, it was with the downloads. High-res downloads.
Yeah, so with weddings, we offer the downloads, and then with other sessions, like lifestyle sessions or family sessions, we don't offer the downloads unless they purchase them. Yeah.
Nice. Thomas, you said you offer downloads, right?
Yeah, most of my shoots are through weddings, so they get to download all their photos if they want. They can purchase it as well, so they don't have to go to London Drugs. Or if they see the images that I've presented to them and the paper that they could get it printed on, they might move forward with that as well. But yeah, same with what Erica said. If I'm doing a portrait session or like a mini session, I don't let them download. They have to purchase it separately. So that's another.
But I'm guessing it comes with the communication before, and it's perfectly clear when they order a session with you that it doesn't come with the downloads, right?
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think like Troy, because like I'm guessing you set up sample cell system for people or possibly for yourself too.
Yeah, because I do mostly families, so I use the sales system. And so my downloads are based on the size of package. So first one, if they purchase a package that has 10 downloads, then you can just set however many downloads right in PickTime that they're allowed to have. So above those, say 10 downloads for their family session, then they can purchase, like you can set a price, whatever price you want for those high-res images. And then each of my packages, so this is just me personally, each of my packages also come with a coupon code. So like the higher the package, the higher the discount. And then I've allowed it that they can use that discount for the high-res images because my high-res images are set quite high. Like I don't want somebody to pay for my session fee and then be able to download high-res images at $10. But if they purchase a package, then they could get a discount on whatever additional high-res images that they want. That makes sense.
Nice. Thanks so much for sharing this.
We always did for ease sake. We just did deliver, like we shoot and then just deliver. That was always our take because we didn't want to have to deal with after like meeting with people and figuring out prints because we just were really busy with stuff. So, but again, now that we have PickTime and that you could actually get the prints and easily high-res files and that sort of thing, it might shift the way we do things for family shoots and all that, for example. So, that's what's been great about it is it allows us to like shift and change the way that we do things. And there's a whole platform that works along with that for us. So,
I would say
because for us, it's all about ease. Like we want easy, like super easy. So, yeah.
I would say I would do, if it was like my personal wedding, I would probably do the same and like deliver all the high res. Like when I did more weddings, I just delivered all the high res. I think that makes more sense. I don't know. Maybe people just choose a few high res for weddings.
But before we end this webinar, we have one more guest joining us who was mentioned a bunch of times already today. It is one and only
It's
Nurit.
not working.
And the camera is not working.
Yeah, I need to restart. It happens to me so many times. But let me, I'll go and join from Amir's computer. So it will take me like 2 minutes. So just 1 minute. I just want to say hi, okay?
While
Yeah.
waiting for Nirit, there's one question for Mariam, like how much, for example, would you charge extra photo downloads for these sessions? I don't know, Troy, maybe you could answer that since you probably know a lot of photography. Like what are the range of prices that are acceptable? Do you have such an idea on that?
Yeah, I would set all of my, because there's another question about markup for pricing.
Mm-hmm.
I would set it according to what you want your discounts to be. Like Tomash, his pricing is set a bit higher because he wants to be able to offer a bigger discount of 50%. Mine isn't set as high, but I don't offer a discount. My discounts usually would go to like 35. Specifically for a high-res image, I think it also depends on what your photo session is set at. So if your photo session, like if you have a session fee of $50, and then they would have the option to purchase a high-res image at $50. I don't know. It depends on how much you need to make and how much you're spending on your photo session. So I think, yeah, your pricing structure is, everybody's pricing structure is so unique. And that's another amazing thing about PicTime is that everybody can have a very, very unique pricing structure and you can still use PicTime to work with your business.
I would just add to that I feel like most people undervalue their photos, especially because they can be 5x7 or 8x10 pieces of paper. So I would say whatever you think you should charge, you should double it at least. Just to give you an idea of what I charge and give you some concrete numbers. If someone wants a digital file, that's $300. If they want 10 digital files, it's $2,500. The prints are marked up 20 times. The artwork is marked up 5 times. So it really depends on what I'm selling, but the lower the cost, the more I mark it up. And the higher the cost, the less I mark it up. But the very minimum I mark it up, like some of my very high-end products, is 5 times.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Jennifer, you wanted to add to this as well?
Yeah, I was just going to add, just like from a sort of psychological approach, the way that I have always approached pricing from like the very beginning is just like a very simple approach of like, what would I pay for this? And it's like so simple, but I mean, most of our clients, like most of us are trying to attract clients that are like us, for the most part, I would say. So for me, it just always came down to like, how much would I actually pay for, you know, a wedding package or an album or whatever it might be. And just putting yourself into that position and into those shoes rather than like, okay, if I, you know, carry the 5 and add the 1, and, you know, all this like math stuff, it's just like crazy, you know, like, I think we just have to like be realistic and just think about what we would pay, and not for everyone.
See, if I took that approach, I'd cost like $200.
Me too.
Honestly, like it was like a big light bulb moment for me once when I was like, you know what? My clients value photography more than I do. They do. And I don't know if that's a good thing, but it was like, that was, so I guess it's different for everybody, right? So yeah.
Yeah, and just to clarify, I do not recommend setting your like session fee at $50 and something.
that was like
no, don't do that. Like my personal session fee, like with no images, is like $150, but my packages start at over $800. So just to give you guys an idea on pricing for family sessions.
Nice. Okay, so we do have Nirit hiding under Amir's account now.
Yeah, I'm in Amir's office because my computer didn't work. I'm really so excited to see everyone. I met in person Sherry, Mike, and Erica, and it's been so long because there were no conferences, we all know. So it's so good to see you all. Jennifer, Tomash, and Troy. It's really great. I'm really excited to see how you're using it in different ways. And I feel that there was like so many great tips here shared, really treasure. I did notes while you were talking. First of all, note number one, Canadians are so nice. I don't know what you're like breathing there or eating there. What's going on? I don't know, but you guys are really, I remember that when I was in ARC, and I was actually after Augie, not so much after Sherry and Mike. Augie was the one that we started the connection through, right? So yeah, it's something in the air in Canada. Anyways, that was my first note. I did want to share with you that you mentioned the sales automation and the coupons and stuff like this. So the holiday ones are really big and best sales. And I just wanted to tell you that it's like July and we already started working on this, because the amount of work that we're putting into writing the right copy that won't be too salesy and will look good, and working on the images, and this whole operation starts now. Also adding some new products that you'll see coming. So this is all gearing, we're like, holidays are starting for us now. I know that you're not there yet, but it will be ready for you in time. So I hope it will be.
And can I just say, I love that you guys write the copy, because that's often what stops me from actually doing it, because it terrifies me writing copy. And the fact that you guys take that step out of the equation for us is, I have no words. It's amazing.
You mentioned like a lot of, you mentioned like that you don't want to sound salesy. And I think it's such a fine line to offer the opportunity, but not to be too much, lower your value with pushing too much. So we're trying to create like the way our aesthetic is elegant. We want the voice, your voice, to be elegant as well. So we really invest a lot of that, and we take like outside writers, sometimes like really expert, to be delivering the best messages. So it's good to hear that you use it. Yeah, and you can always change it if you want, as Troy mentioned. But the holidays are really invested, and they're working great. What we do every year, we learn from last year's statistics. So we learn the best, days, the best products. We try to, be more accurate each year, because we have data. We have a lot of data to use. So we're trying to make it also smart and efficient.
I think like,
I
think like that's like, and I guess I can't emphasize this enough, Marie. That's what we love about you guys, is it's like our other gallery just felt like we like hired a place to put our photos. Like we didn't even hire, we just bought a place to put our photos. And it feels like with you guys, like we have a support team behind us that's cheering our business on, that's supporting our business, that's helping us grow, and is constantly pushing to be better for us and to be better for our clients. And so it doesn't feel like we have a service with you guys. It feels like we really are a team, and you guys are part of a team that are really like invested in our business, which means so much to us. And what I think is the biggest thing on what it's been, like we said, we haven't used PickTime efficiently at all, but I think, like for having that is like it done. Like even if we didn't make any sales or stores or whatever, just the fact that you have this, like you guys are there, and we feel like we're all a team together, and that's really incredible that what you guys have created in that community and that kind of family vibe. It feels like, we love you guys.
Thank you. It's so great to hear that. That's really the mission. It's like not squeezing your lemon, but growing, like helping you grow a tree with your own lemons. Like it's not about, providing a one-step service and like taking the money. Just like really our goal is really for you to build a healthy business and giving you all the tools that will help you do that. So that's exactly what we try to do.
Beautiful. Thanks so much for joining us, Nurit. It's always great to see you. Good to have you here on a webinar. You should always end the webinar, like come for the, fine words at the end to bless us all with the PickTime magic. Yes. So thanks so much, everyone who joined in the chat. it was amazing evening for me and afternoon for probably most of you guys in Canada. Thanks so much for the speakers. Thanks so much, Tomasz, Shine, Mike, Jennifer, Troy, and Erica, and Lauren. If you are still there, can you just pop? Yes, thanks so much, Lauren, for co-hosting with me and showing the experience of using PicTime. If you have any questions, I guess you can hit the chat. You can regarding technical questions with the PicTime. If you have any questions to the panelists, I'm probably 99% sure that they will answer if you will ask them in the DMs. So go follow them on Instagram. I will probably list somewhere, or you can find it on our Instagram, the PicTime Instagram. So again, thanks so much for joining the webinar. Stay tuned for next webinars. We have plenty of them on a YouTube channel, and there's also this one was recorded, so you can rewatch it and soak more of this knowledge from all these beautiful PicTime users. So yeah.
Thank you, Magic.
Yeah, thanks, Magic, for hosting.
Thank you all.
Thanks, guys.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
See you all.